Hi, Zizaran here with another video for PoE 2, and this is a little bit of a discussion video talking about the recent nerfs and respec costs and things like that, and just giving my 2 cents on what I feel the current state of that is. So, obviously a few people are very frustrated, actually quite a lot of people are very frustrated right now, because they're playing a build and maybe finally getting something off the ground, especially maybe after they have been struggling, and it feels really good, right? And I always say the number one feeling that a lot of players chase in an RPG is that they want to feel like they're cheating. They want to feel like they've found something really clever. It makes them feel smart. It makes them feel powerful. It's like, I broke the game. This build is so good. I'm so strong. I figured out something really cool. Especially if that's not like one button, right? Like a bad example of this is Spiritborn in D4, where you click the eagle thing and that's it. You do nothing else and then you're one-shotting. Generally, that's not what everybody's looking for, especially not for Path of Exile. But in general, a lot of people really like in RPGs when they can feel very strong. So a lot of people have been getting that feeling now where they were struggling really hard, and then they found something really cool, like the cast on freeze meteor build, the slams, the gas grenade, and they're like, oh, I'm so strong. A lot of these things have been nerfed. I know the gas grenade thing got nerfed quite hard. That's still one of the best builds after the nerf. So props to DGD there for not completely killing the build. We still see a lot of people playing the gas grenade build. That might get nerfed again. We see a lot of people still playing Raging Spirits. Obviously that only got nerfed for like that weird fireball interaction that Jung Roan was doing. And then now, in the patch that just went out 2 minutes ago, it was the cast on freeze build. Now this, at least initially, I don't know if there's a fix around it, but a lot of people are saying it's just completely dead. Now obviously there will be some nerfs that are just, well, the build is gone. It is completely dead. And there will be some nerfs that you just have to figure out an alternative way of making it work. But at least initially, people are like, it's dead. Now I can't test this myself. I don't have that build. But I do want to talk a little bit about how I feel about the early hard nerfs and stuff like that. Now, I'm in the camp that it is early access, it's not a fully released game, and this is when they need to do things like this. And they don't have a league in a month or in 2 months that is coming out that they can wait to do resets at. So, they should be doing these big heavy-handed nerfs. But, in my opinion, a big problem, and probably the biggest pain point for a lot of people right now, is if they get hit by a big nerf, well, if they don't have a lot of gold, they can't respec. I think for my level 77 character, it was like 6 or 5, somewhere between 5 and 7,000 gold per respec, and I have 50,000 gold. So, because I'm using a lot of my gold to gamble. I didn't really have a lot of gear. So for a lot of people, it's very frustrating to be having fun, to be playing a build they're enjoying. They get nerfed and they maybe aren't in a position to respec. Maybe they don't have the gear. Maybe they don't have the gold to respec. But that is really frustrating for a lot of people. So, and especially if you're mid through the campaign, you just don't get the enough gold. So I think that especially in the first 2 to 3, maybe 4 weeks of the game, when there is going to be this many sweeping changes, which in my opinion there should be, it is early access and they will need help testing from the community. That's the entire point of this. And again, if you don't want to be part of that, completely understandable, absolutely within your rights. You should wait for a launch, or at the very least a few months, because these sweeping changes are going to be here mostly now. And here we can see in the patch notes, trigger gem energy was not in the right place. It was far too easy to use ailments to trigger spells. One of the problems with the previous system was that if we balanced it to make triggering happen in boss fights, then the trigger would happen far too often during clearing. And in order to address this, we're making monster power part of the calculation for energy gain. That means that it's far easier to trigger seals from unique monsters than it is from normal monsters, but you also hit many more normal monsters when fighting. Another issue was using low-level skill with unconditional ailments such as Flame Wall to ignite enemies. We have rebalanced energy gain across the board. So for a lot of things, that means that their build is dead. Like I said, in the first 2 to 4 weeks, respec costs should... I would be definitely leaning towards just completely free. It really doesn't matter. People aren't going to be respecing between boss fights. And if they do, like, I don't know, does that really matter? You can even lower gold drop a little bit if you're worried about people gambling too much. But I would just, at the very least, significantly reduce the respec cost so that people not only can try things, but are able to like continue playing when their build gets massively nerfed. Because for a lot of people, the campaign is so incredibly long. My first campaign was 1 day, 2 hours, and I'm pretty sure like I've seen a lot of people in my chat say that they were doing 2 days, like literally like 40-ish hours to get through the campaign. And when somebody like spends that amount of time to get through something, and their only option is like, well, you have to start over again, completely start over, that person is going to quit for a lot of people. Now, obviously, there are a lot of people that are okay with this too, but a lot of people are just like, nah, it's done. Like right now in my chat, so many people are like 30 hours, 35 hours, 44 hours, and I'm an Act 2 cruel. So it is a very long campaign to just tell people, make a new character. And saying, well, it's early access really isn't just going to do it for everybody. Again, I do agree. Like, if you hate stuff like this, early access probably isn't for you. But I think there isn't a really big downside. If I was grinding a games, what I would do is I would put out a post that for the first 2 weeks, first 4 weeks, we are significantly reducing, either 90% or 100% reducing respec costs, and saying that by this time, we're hoping to be done with huge sweeping changes and respec costs will go back to normal. That's fine, in my opinion. I do understand the value of sort of getting your player base ready for what the game is going to look like on launch. And I know that it's hard to take things back later. But yeah, I do think that's better than the current situation. So I just wanted to make it a little bit of post. I think most people in the community would prefer having the respec costs exactly the way they are now. That's fine 4 weeks from now. That's fine. But right now, that's maybe not where it should be. I would do 0 bitching if respec cost did went back to exactly like now, as long as it's 4 weeks from now, and then do a 90% reduction now. Either way, that's my take on it. Let me know what you think. But either way, sub if you liked the video. But more importantly, try to die less than our builds do.